Happy birthday, big sister. You have done so much in your 50 years. I wanted to highlight a few aspects that I admire and that I am working on developing for me. You have shown me a bigger world with your traveling. And we are so privileged, as you know, to have mom and dad taking us around North American travel, 5 vacations a year at least, and getting that exposure. But when you went to live in Germany right after college, wow. And then moving to Nashville, living in Japan and France. What? That's crazy. And because you travel so much, I began to travel as well because who doesn't want to be like their big sister? Hmm? And because of travel, I have realized how privileged I am. And each time I go to a developing nation, oh, that's right, we have clear air. Ooh, except for not this year. But learning about all of our privileges and under and just appreciating and so many different walks of lives and so thank you for that, and to mom and dad as well. One of the biggest aspects that stands out is your ability to adjust to change that would be devastating to almost everybody, and you are able to move through situations like this. When you were just got married and were on your way to Nashville to start your new life with your new husband, with everything you owned, all the gifts in your moving van, and then it's stolen and you have nothing. Most people, that would set them back, maybe for a second at least. like, like they would have some hard times of everything gone and memorabilia and attachment to different things, and just like that would be heartbreak, it'd be crushing, and just downright devastating. And I don't, I still think back to that. I'm like, did you and Ray even, was that even, did you even blink? I mean, it was just like, I think it was just a blip in your journey. And fast forward to about 4.5 years ago when you had your big stroke, and how you manage your emotions around this and everything that affects this. Having cerebral, autosomal, dominant, arterial, oh, so close, with infarctal artifacts, really long word, leukocephalophagus, something rather, syndrome, having CADASIL syndrome, and knowing that there's not a cure, and all these not good things, being able to manage that and see the positive, because we have so many of us have little problems and have a hard time of that not taking us out, and to see all the weight you're taking on with this syndrome and everything that affects it, is so motivating, and so strong that I'm sure many hundreds of others who know you learn, wow, you know what, my little hangnail, I'm going to get through it. You are persistent. When you had gone to 6 neurologists and with them coming up with no diagnosis, I don't know those terms. That's frustrating. But I was so happy when you decided to go to the Mayo Clinic. I think that was influence of Terry Thompson. Thank you, Terry. To go to the Mayo Clinic and see the 7th neurologist, and was able to give you, okay, you have CADASIL. And I think that's important, knowing what you have, and then you could just, manage expectations. And you didn't give up. And even if there are moments that you lost hope, you didn't stay there for very long. You got back up. And that is inspiring the rest of us, for you, but also whatever, we're dealing with. Some of the action items that I took in my life because of you is thinking about, okay, if I have a situation where I'm going to need help, who's going to be in my corner? You had at least 100 people from homeschooling and church and other school and just across the board of all your networks. And you've given your time, your generosity, you've loaned out cars, you financially help people, you give rides, you give gifts. I mean, like, your generosity consistent over time to so many people is huge. And when you needed help, people volunteered. And I was thinking, oh wow, if mom and dad were out of town, I've got my cousin who's really busy and my aunt. Okay, if like who would take care of me? And I was like looking through, I'm like, okay, those two friends are 45 minutes away each, with rush hour traffic, and I'm just like, and I came up, I think maybe it was 6 people that would be there for me, for sure. And I'm like, oh, but they're really busy. So I don't know. It was just like, oh, wow, I've got to work on that. And so over the last 4.5 years, I have worked on my network and building my network, but also making a list. I should probably update that on 10 people that if I am found somewhere and still alive, okay, who are the 10 people they can look at this list, call immediately. And permissions for if there's a situation with me, they have permission to go on my Facebook, say what I need, where I'm at, and which hospital I want to go to, and to think about all these aspects that we never think about, and also letting people know that I am there for them and I do have freedom of my time, so I can drop whatever I'm doing to be there, and to let people know that I need to do a better job of that. Because of you, I have broadened my perspectives, major of disability, and just a wider range of perspectives. And because you don't have, limited usage of your right side, your dominant side, I think it was like a year ago where my wrist was really overworked. It wasn't damaged, it was just overworked. And I thought, you know what? Let me take this week and I'm not going to use it. And let me, use it for the most part. So I started looking into what I would do with my left hand, and seeing the 30 different tasks I do in the 30 minutes of waking, and how you need your two hands and how to get along with it and how frustrating that is. And, putting on a bra, are you kidding me? One-handed? Impossible. No, I don't use that word. Difficult. Then I looked into all those tools, the Alexa tools, how can I use those? And comparing Google and Microsoft, all their voice to text tools, and comparing them, how I can use them best. And I remember doing a post. I think it was maybe just a post. It was maybe 100 letters or something, and it took me like an hour. Not a lot of thought, just editing, just trying to edit with voice to text and pick and pack. It was horrible. And then just like, oh, screw it, and then also thinking, people, let's say, who don't know me, oh my gosh, does she speak English? Look at, there's no punctuation there, there's no this or that. And understanding, wow, just trying to see all the judging that would be happening because it was difficult to type. So new perspectives and appreciation for being able-bodied. And I also went to disability groups, learning groups and HR groups on disability, and stroke survivor and stroke caretaker groups, understand. And that is tough. And it was just eye-opening to hear, again, more perspectives. And, ooh, that is heavy stuff. And just getting a better understanding of my privilege, but also of, somebody, I'm like fast, right? Like, kind of get out of my way. I'm on a mission, and understanding, wow, sometimes you can't walk fast because you can't, and to have some understanding of that. So helping me, Tracy, understand, to slow down and trying to understand perspectives makes me a better person, which helps, and I influence a few others, and so sharing the stories. So you've definitely helped me be a better person, just all the way around. When you said you spoke to medical professionals about being a stroke victim, I was so excited. Oh, she's speaking like me. But just so pleased, because people don't have enough perspectives, and a lot of survivor or victim perspectives are, as you know, are flat out depressing and devastating. And to hear that, a lot of people can't hear that. But you are a positive voice, and people can connect with you, and they can listen to you, and they can get better information instead of the worst, horrible, I can't look, I can't hear. But hearing straight talk from you of what it's like is so important. And so I'm very pleased and so happy that you began going to plugging into the different survivor communities and helping them with your positive attitude, as well as educating yourself. And and then going to the rare disease conference, learning about that. That's fascinating. Because of that, I talked to a gal to learn a little bit what she has going on. So you've piqued my curiosity to hear about these different stories. I listened to the Two Disabled Guys podcast. And so you've introduced a lot more topics and information to me. So thank you for that. And lastly, another thing that I admire is that you are buying intentionally from remember you're telling me about the blind guys who make the blind shirts, because if you're blind, how do you pick up the right colors and know what you're wearing, talking about the dots on the shirts and where they're placed, etc. And how great that money is going to help blind people, and all the things you buy, and you buy a lot, you're a very good consumer. I do not aspire to be a good consumer. I want to be a minimal consumer, but I appreciate that you invest in fair trade and intentional communities that profit from your purchases. So that is really cool. So I am really proud of you for all these aspects, and you are helping so many people. So happy birthday, Miss 50.